In this episode, I wanted to bring you to one of the famous destinations located near Kyoto, which is called Amanohashidate. I visited this place right after my visit to Kyoto and stayed there for one night. But before that, I had time to visit one of Kyotography exhibitions in Kyocera Museum of Art. So I visited the museum, and at the front of the museum, how lucky I am because there was also a Takashi Murakami exhibition called Mononoke Kyoto. The one that I wanted to visit was an exhibition by a famous Japanese photographer whom I look up to, Rinko Kawauchi. And here's Rinko Kawauchi's exhibition. In this exhibition, she presented two series called Shui and As It Is. Shui, I don't know if I pronounce it right or wrong, is a photo series about her grandparents. And As It Is, it's about seeing her beloved daughter grow. Both series moved me. It is also interesting to see that some of the photos were printed on a semi-transparent medium and then projected above a light source, as if it was a slide film. Another photographer who also did an exhibition with Rinko Kawauchi in the same room is Tokuko Ushioda, who also presented two series called Icebox and My Husband. Icebox is a series of photos of her refrigerator from time to time, and My Husband, of course, a photo series about her husband. After that, it's time for me to go to Amanohashidate. To go there from Kyoto Station, I had to take the Kyoto Tango Relay train, a beautiful train which has a blue color and a spacious seat. It's my 7th day in Japan, and I just activated my 5-day Kansai Wide Area Pass, and this train route is covered with that pass. I was lucky because it's pretty expensive to actually ride this train if you buy a single ticket. It was a 2-hour train ride, and view from this train is magnificent. This is the first time I actually rode a train that passed through tunnels and mountains in Japan. It was so beautiful and felt so much better from what I imagined before in terms of experience. I basically love the Japanese countryside, so seeing it from the train window really became one of my highlights from the trip. You have to experience it for yourself. 2 hours later, I arrived at Amanohashidate. This has become my ritual, collecting stamps from every station whenever possible. I thought it would be a little more crowded, but it is quieter actually. And from the station, I walked for about 900 meters straight to the hotel to store my luggage first. Along the way, I saw many beautiful sceneries, but since my luggage was so heavy, I only took the photo using my phone. out that my hotel provided a bicycle rental, so I rented one to explore the region. Riding a bicycle in Japan is on my bucket list, and I finally did it there. Coy, akhirnya sepedahan di Jepang coy. Seneng banget gue ya Allah. This time I use a new camera that I bought in Japan, which is Pentax 67 and Kee 400 for my first film. Using this bike, I plan to cross this 3.6 km line, which according to the Google map is the Amanohashidate itself. This view from above is the most famous viewpoint on Amanohashidate. More on that later, but right now I wanted to ride the bike there. But before I went there was a specific location that I saw on my trip to hotel before. It is located near the station. It is a view located at the edge of the sea. It looked pretty much like a lake, but it's actually a sea. And here's the photo. Actually, the lens is not in a good condition, so I can see the photo losing its contrast. But it's not a big deal, since I can edit it in post. I love this photo. It's my second time using Kee 400 in 120, and I'm liking it so far. I pushed this film to 800, and the strong contrast in shadow area is really up to my liking. I really love this last photo. I love the shadow detail. It's so black and sharp. In this location, I wasted a film like it was nothing. One roll of film finished just like that. And I changed it to an expired Velvia 100 film after that. Then I continued my ride and stopped at a bridge called Taisen Bridge. I was so lucky because the moment I arrived, this bridge was moved because there was a boat that wanted to pass by this bridge. So I took photos of it. Sadly, my photo was too dark and underexposed. I think it's because it was already expired, and I think it would give a better result if I rated it at a 50 ISO. I rated it at 100 and hope for the best at that time. This route is basically a beach because it's filled with beach sand and there's an actual beach in the middle. I saw a good tree. Since I brought a tripod, well, why not use it? The result is still underexposed, but it's much better than my previous photo. I quite like it composition wise. This last photo is the worst of them all. I didn't know what happened, but maybe it's just an expired film thing. After an almost 4 kilometers ride, at the end of it, I saw many potential scenes to be photographed, so I loaded a new film. This time, it is Lomography 800. Thank you so much to whoever parked that car there, because it was such a perfect scene. And here's the photo. I spent so much time moving my tripod to find the right position, making sure all the intended subjects were inside the frame, and it was worth it. Lomo 800 in 120 is the best cheap film that you can find today, and I'm glad I happened to bring my last roll to Japan. I love the color, and since it is 800 ISO, it is so flexible even during an overcast weather like this. And these two vending machines, it was perfect. I also like this photo. It feels like a street photography moment, but with cars. The fact that there's this car as my main subject, but also there's that car in the background, it feels symmetrical. Not only because there's a good-looking car, but the fact that there happened to be a good-looking house in the back makes this photo look appealing, at least for me. And here's my street photographer moment.
すみません。あなたの写真を撮ってもいいですか？写真？いいよ。あ、OK。はい。ありがとうございます。すみません。1、2、3。はい。ありがとうございます。Oke, sekarang gue lagi ada di Amanohashidate dan ini bagus banget sih, belakang gue ada danau, entah laut. Gue baru aja foto pakai film Lomo 800, pakai Pentax 67 yang baru aja gue beli, dan penasaran banget hasilnya kayak apa.
This is my last frame of Lomo 800. I'm very satisfied with all the results from this roll. Then, rather than going back again through the same route, I have an idea to ride along the edge of the sea to go back to my hotel. On Google Maps, it's about a 10 kilometers ride. During my usual day riding bicycle, it took me about 30 minutes to reach 10 kilometers. So I was guessing that it would be much slower because I wanted to enjoy the scenery whenever I saw something worth being photographed. And here we are. I also stopped at the supermarket to buy some food because it's cheaper. Thankfully, I rode a Mamachari, the most common bike in Japan, and it has a basket in the front rack, so I could put the food in the camera there. This is such a quiet neighborhood, and I now begin to understand the true meaning of Japan's declining population. But it didn't stop me for enjoying the ride on an evening like this. It is so eerily beautiful. And I also happened to take photos of this. I think it is a warehouse of Yamato Transport. It is a famous package delivery service in Japan. And I arrived at my hotel and got to enjoy a small onsen in the hotel by myself. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you really enjoy it, and see you on my next adventure in Japan.